and welcome to Talking Shop, a conversation with educational leaders. My name is Mike Randolph, and I'm the proud principal of the Leesburg High School, and we are joined by our co-host, Martin Aftuck, the proud principal of Middleburg High School, and today we have two very special guests. We have Alice Paulk and Miss Kelly Mosley, and I'm going to let you guys introduce your titles because I do not want to mess them up.
Go ahead, Alice.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I'm Alice Paulk, and we had to look up our titles because really we're a jack of all trades, I feel like, in our department. But I'm one of two CTE supervisors, and my official title is Program Implementation. So I work on CTE programs and development, and then my partner in crime,
Kelly.
Yeah, so I'm Kelly Mosley, and I'm also a CTE supervisor, and I work with business and community partnerships.
Well, listen, this is one I'm excited about this episode because these are two of my favorite people.
Oh my goodness, my favorite.
They do so much for kids, but then also they're a fun time. So this is going to be a great episode. I will probably take a lot of crap today, but that's good. I deserve it. So
that's so good.
Let's start with Alice. Kind of tell us about how you came into this role, and then where you started and where you're at now.
So I think I'll go back a little bit because I think it's kind of how I got to do what I do. So I grew up in Clay County product, went to Lakeside Junior and Orange Park High School. And when I was in 7th grade at Lakeside Junior High, I had at the time it was home ec teacher, now family and consumer science teacher, Norma Layton, who was a staple there at Lakeside with her husband, Jim Layton, who was the band director. And I'll never forget in 7th grade, she's like, Alice, I want you to come back next year and be part of my program, because I'd had her as part of the wheel at the time. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I fell in love with CTE at the time. It was called vocational, but it's changed since then. And then my junior year in high school at Orange Park High School, we got the opportunity to do career shadowing, which is near and dear to my heart as well. And I was determined I was going to be a dentist. Like, that was what I was going to do for the rest of my life. Went and spent a day with a dentist who was there still on Kingsley. And after a day, I said, there's no way I'm ever doing that. So that's kind of how I found my love for CTE, if you will. And then I started my teaching career out at Wilkinson Junior High School. And I taught for 12 years in family and consumer science. And then I had the opportunity to move to the district office 17 years ago. So I'm starting year 29 in career and tech ed. So, yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Kelly? How'd you start out?
So I grew up, I still live on the same family farm. My daughter Maggie, she's the 6th generation to live on our farm, and I was really active in 4-H. At the time, Clay High did not have agriculture or FFA at Clay High School, so I knew I wanted to do something in agriculture. I was thinking animal science, something like that, and but I ended up taking ag education, and I was like this anomaly because everybody else in my classes, they had been in an ag program or FFA chapter, and like I was like this only person that had never been in ag. So after I graduated from UF, there was an open position to teach ag at Wilkinson, which was really great because back then Clay County only had like 3 ag teachers. Mm-hmm. And so Mr. Paulk, Alice's father-in-law, he hired my best friend Emily and I straight out of college to come and teach. And so I taught 2 years at Wilkinson, taught 2 years at Lake Asbury, went and opened the ag program over there. Whenever he left and went to Lake Asbury, he wanted to have an ag program. And so then in 2008, I came to the county office to be a CTE specialist. And then in 2018 is when I came to be the CTE supervisor with business partnership. So year 20 in education. And the majority of that has been in the CTE district office.
And Alice, what do you do now as far as what is your role? I know you guys are a two-headed monster down there, so go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So my official title is Program Implementation. Kelly refers to me as the banker of the office.
She loves that.
Very important position, by
Gotta have a banker.
Keeping people out of stripes, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to jail for something like that.
No.
And then I deal a lot with industry certifications. But so when we were kind of talking with people outside of the realm of the school district who don't understand how it works, I kind of focus on the internal things like our teachers, our curriculum, our textbooks, all that kind of stuff. Kelly deals with more of like business partnerships, things that are going on outside of the classroom or connecting the classrooms to the outside world. Again, we pitch in and do whatever needs to be done, but that's kind of how we've divide and conquer for the most part.
Kelly, you're on that business partnership side?
Yeah, so any of our, our big named business partners, like at Middleburg High, they have the Garber Automotive Academy. We have 4 5-star academies. Those are some of our larger investment partnerships. But we also, we have hundreds of business partners that serve on 14 different advisory boards that we have. They do everything from being guest speakers, mock job interviews. They host field trips. They give scholarships to students. They host interns. They help teachers with technical expertise that they might need. They're judges for competitions. So just a wide variety of things that our business partners, there's nothing too big or too small that they can do for our students, because there's, we can do a lot in education, but then there's just some things that we can't replicate, and that's where we need our business partners to come alongside of us and provide those real world experiences that we're not able to provide our students in the confines of school or during the school day.
I absolutely agree, and wow, we're going to come back to your relationship with the local business partners here, but I wanted to turn to Alice for a moment. Can you talk about why CTE matters in 2024 for schools and for students?
Sure. So, I think my personal experience of getting to go career shadowing and realizing I didn't want to be a dentist is important for kids. I tell a kid, especially I think of kids who are in health science programs, if you figure out you don't want to be a nurse or do anything in the medical field because of your clinicals and you passed out because you saw blood for the first time, then that's great. I'd much rather you figure out. Yeah, I'd much rather you figure out now what you do and don't want to do. So if you figure out what you don't want to do, to me, that's a win as well for kids. Versus they go off to college or feel the pressure, like you've said it out loud, so now I've got to continue whatever it was I said I was going to be later in life, which we know isn't really true. But so helping them do that, I really feel like CTE is that connection for a number of our kids to be connected and to show up to school and to engage in school. And not just CTE, so my background also in high school, I was big in band and chorus. So I really have a heart too for band and chorus, to know that whatever it is, if a kid can find their niche in high school or even especially junior high school, that's going to be not always, but what helps them get across that finish line, especially when they're having those tough days.
We talk about with ninth graders, make a connection. What's it going to be that you're going to get involved with outside of school?
Exactly. We just had our freshman orientation today, and we really talked about that our scholars that find connection early, don't wait, but find connection early and getting involved, they have a higher success rate of being graduates, of being industry certification earners, of being AP, ACE candidates, right? Just getting involved early in the process. So thank you so much for that. I want to transition to Kelly. Kelly, can you discuss the importance of local businesses in regards to not only CTE, but the schools as well?
So like I said before, the business partners are able to do things for us and provide experiences for our students that we can't provide them. We do have a lot of school-based enterprises. For example, at Middleburg High School, they have Bloomin' Broncos, where they have a flower shop. They have an automotive shop. They have many of our culinary programs. They cater or operate a restaurant on site. So those are great introductions to some hands-on real-world experiences, but we need our business partners to help take it one step further for our students and provide those real-world experiences out in the community. So, for example, I'll use Clay County Utility Authority. Mm-hmm. They came to us several years ago, and they're like, we have an aging workforce, and we hear this all the time. So, not just from this industry, but from many industries. They're like, we have an aging workforce. Like, who is going to replace these kids? Who's going to replace this age group? And so I'm like, well, first of all, people don't know you exist. They take you for granted. They turn their water on, they use your utilities, but they don't think about what it takes to get there. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create awareness around your industry, around your job, and then we can start getting kids excited about a career with your organization and in this industry in general. So they made a hype video that has become a model for other business partners that we share that really gets excited and gives them an idea about what they could experience in a short 3 to 4 minutes. Many of our teachers, they'll use it as a bell activity to get kids excited about that opportunity, but they have an internship program. And I told them too, I was like, you guys have to start hiring kids younger. We cannot wait until they're 18 years old and they have walked across the football field and they're gone. They're not captive. We don't see them every day to remind them, to encourage them that you would be really great at this. And so they really took that to heart, and they started offering internships. And then last year they even went to their board, the Clay County Utility Board, and they have it put in their budget where every year they're going to offer a minimum of 5 paid internships for Clay County students. And then, they pay them $15 to $20 an hour. They work with their school schedule. The kids have to apply. The kids turn their applications into one of our college and career coaches. But then Clay County Utility makes the decision on who they're going to hire. But the interesting thing, especially about the students that are working in the water or the wastewater treatment plant side of things, is that the hours that they're earning and whenever they're working, they can apply toward their licenses whenever they get out of school. So we've had students that quite honestly have gone through that program and probably are making more than all of us because and so they're driving a company truck.
Yeah, kids that just graduated are going to make $60,000 next year.
Yes, exactly. And so, that is just one example of where, the business partners, it's mutually beneficial because they need our students. We need our students to have a job. Some of these jobs might be pulling these kids out of generational poverty. And we want them to stay in Clay County. Like, I'm selfish. I want the best and brightest to stay right here in Northeast Florida with us to do whatever it is, to be a nurse, to be a firefighter, whatever it is. And so, it really, we always try to bring things to the table too. We don't always want to be like, we're asking them for something. Because I feel like that there's a lot of things that our students can bring to the table as well and help the community with, and they may not even think about how talented and the skills that our students are learning through our CTE programs.
Well, I can tell you just from experience, we are bringing to the table well-trained, high-quality scholars to our local businesses. So shout out for the connections that you've made with the local businesses.
One thing is, like, not every kid's going to go to college, and I think I think especially me coming into Middleburg High School, I really had no idea just the scope of how big these programs and how important they are. Kelly mentioned generational poverty, and I heard her say that the first time. It's like, wow, you've got these kids who some of them, the parents never graduated high school, and now they're going to come in and change things. Let's kind of switch here, Alice. Talk about we've been talking about our industry certifications and how that works. Like, I know for me when I came to Middleburg, one of the things was just seeing our automotive, for example. Like, you can't just bring your car back there as a teacher to get your oil changed. You've got to, because those kids work so hard on those certifications. So tell us how that works on the certification piece and how it kind of ties into like the school grade and those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. So industry certifications, started one of my very first years in the office. So probably a good 15 years ago. It was one of the very first things. And I remember we had like 20 certifications to report from our district. And it was like all around health science. But those certifications vary across the board. We have some that take a year, some that take 4 years. All of them, the standard is they're all going to be issued by a third party. So there's it's not something we're creating and then just issuing, printing out of the printer out there and handing it out to kids. So they are industry recognized credentials. So they're things through the Board of Nursing, they're things through ASE, they're things through CDA, ServSafe, which you'll see all through culinary. So it's all these certifications that students went. So when they leave high school, they're leaving hopefully with their diploma, and they're leaving with another certificate to show them that they're ready to go to work. And a lot of times that can also equate into some college credit, depending on what they're going to do and where they're going. It's been a huge boost for our programs in terms of how we've been able to fund them. When you look at the financial side of it, there is an incentive that comes back from the state that offers the teacher of record a bonus, just like an AP, IB, dual enrollment AP teacher would get.
Make sure we say Cambridge.
Cambridge, yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah, there you
Cambridge.
go.
Excuse
we
me.
don't want to leave Cambridge out of there, right, guys?
Yes. Keep Cambridge in.
So that's nice for our teachers that they're elevated to that level of professionalism, for lack of better words, and what they're getting back in return, their work that they're putting in. The money comes back also to the program, so that's how we're able to invest in our programs, to update computers, to get all the toys, for lack of better words, and the new gadgets, and update the technology. If our teachers want for anything, it's because they haven't asked, and shame on them. They're pretty spoiled, and we tell them
Gotta
that
ask the
they're
banker.
rotten.
The banker.
No, I love it. You have to ask the banker.
And y'all
right?
wonder why I say that.
But can I tell you, as someone who travels different states, and to see how other states recognize and celebrate CTE, AP, Cambridge, advanced programs, compared to Florida, we are very blessed in the state of Florida, and our teachers are very blessed in the state of Florida to be recognized the way that they are and financially incentivized the way that they are. I was recently in Tennessee doing Cambridge training, and they are not recognized the same way that we are recognized in Florida for our success in advanced coursework. So again, shout out to the state of Florida for that. Kelly, this question goes out to you. You talked about the importance of on-the-job training, or OJT. Can you just expand on that a little bit? What does that mean? Are students able to earn high school credits if they do OJT? And just kind of talk about what the importance of OJT for CTE.
So we do not offer an OJT option for a student's class schedules. There probably are some OJT classes around the school or around the state where people do offer that. We're not in a situation where we have enough teachers to offer OJT. So for example, like for a teacher to be certified in that, and then they have to go out and supervise all these kids. So it's like they might be able to.
It's a rough job.
Yeah, they might be able to see 25 kids a day. I don't know. What would you say, Alice? 50 kids a day? It's probably not even that. Versus you can put a teacher in a classroom and they can see in a business lab 125 kids a day. So for us in Clay County, we don't offer a class where they can choose a class that is OJT. But I will say that our school counselors and our college and career coaches do work with students really well, in my opinion, to get their classes, if they have all their credits and they're ahead and all the things, at the beginning of the day, the first, second, and third periods of the day, so that they can go to work. But you also have to figure too, like our students get out at 1:20 on Wednesdays and 1:40.
That's right.
And so, they can go to work. And so for example, like at Clay County Utility or at Garber, they're working from like 2 to 6. And
so you can put in a full,
right,
basically a full day. You can put in 20 to 40 hours.
And so that's what most of them do is in our circumstance. Now, different districts are different, but for us, we're basically like the recruiter, the advertiser for these different positions that the businesses are offering, and we connect the students to what opportunities they have. And I will tell you, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
well, I was just going to say, for example, with Garber, they came to us and they were like, well, we need these specific manufacturer specific certifications. Like they wanted Ford, and I'm like, well, that's great, but it's not going to pay the bills for us, and it's not on the list because the certifications have to come.
All about the list.
Yes, they have to come from this list to trigger that bonus funding to help with the school grade, just like AP, IB, Cambridge, and that kind of thing. They have to come from this list from the Department of Education, and so when we were talking with Garber, they were like, well, what if we did something after school? We'll send somebody over. So what they do is they're working on the industry certifications, those broad general ASE certifications during the day, and then Garber sends people to Middleburg High School in the afternoon, or the kids go and work at Garber in the afternoon on those manufacturer-specific certifications that the industry wants in addition to those ASE certifications.
Can I tell you, huge shout out to Garber for all of their hard work at Middleburg High School. I know that they're a field sponsor. I know that there are a few different sponsors for things at Middleburg High School. Like, huge shout out to sponsors.
Well, they're big in the community too.
And
it's
if
not
they're
just
not a field
yeah,
sponsor.
Yes.
I was going to say, if they're not a field sponsor, they should be.
They
right?
are.
Because,
They are.
again,
It's Garber
they're
Automobile.
producing
Yeah.
quality students.
And the great thing that they're
slight
doing.
brush off the shoulder there.
Yeah, but the great thing they're doing. So, for instance, like one of our teachers went back there and they came in after school, and there was an issue with their battery. They thought, well, it turned out the kids diagnosed it. It was the alternator. So, teacher got a ride, went over to AutoZone or wherever, got the part, brought it back. The kids fixed the alternator, saved the teacher a bunch of money, but also helped the kids learn how to do that. So it's pretty cool. I heard you guys mention career and college coaches. We're well versed in it. Tell us, Alice, what's a career college coach do in Clay County?
So we call them our boots on the ground. So we've been lucky enough over the years, we've had career specialists and they were academy coaches, and they've morphed into what we call a college and career coach. So they're in an instructional position this actually 11-month, and we have one at each high school. And so they help us navigate things at the school level because we can't be everywhere. We've got about 125 teachers district-wide. And so they help us with, right now, scheduling, making sure kids are scheduled correctly. They're not missing out on a course they need, making sure things are kind of balanced out, working as a team member of their guidance team there at their school. They help with the principals with tracking graduation rates, making sure kids have the acceleration points, they have what they need to graduate. They help us coordinate field trips, our guest speakers who are coming on campus. They help us with testing, all the industry certification testing that goes on. They're kind of our point person there at the school. So they help us run the advisory boards. They help us run our PLCs. So again, they're just an extension of our office, but housed at the high schools, and they are invaluable. We couldn't do the things we're doing without them.
Absolutely.
And as we've
A huge shout out to those coaches.
No, for
They're
you
great.
guys, for us, for our district for having that. Miss Granger's like
Yeah,
another-
huge shout out to the district for having that. We're fortunate to have graduation facilitators here, but they don't work as aligned with CTE as they do, as I'm hearing, in Clay County. So you'll see me taking a lot of notes. I'm just taking notes on you ladies, like what you're giving, because you're giving gold right now. So I want to end with this.
Oh no! We're not ending.
If you-
We're not ending. No.
Oh, no.
We got to
I
talk
have a
about.
question that I
We
wanna
got to
end
talk
on.
about the Clay County Fair because
Oh, yeah.
Huge partner
Before we
for
get to
our
the fair, let me give
this
my
might be
last
another half an
question.
hour.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
It might
Mike.
be, right? So I want you to explain to a student, explain to a parent why they should choose a CTE course.
Why wouldn't you choose a CTE course? I mean, that's really the question. CTE offers something for everybody. We have students in our programs that are students with special needs. We have students that are student athletes. We have the valedictorians in our programs. We have, just the
Class
whole.
presidents.
Yes, like everybody. Everybody just sees the value of CTE because you get all these real world experiences. You can be a part of career and technical student organizations like HOSA, FFA, FBLA, TSA, all of those. There's scholarship opportunities, college credit articulation agreement opportunities, mentoring, networking with business partners, going on these awesome field trips, going to state and national CTSO events. I mean, there's literally what is not to love about career and technical education. Career fairs, college and career night. I mean, what am I missing, Alice?
Yeah, I feel like our kids, we would stack them up against anybody because they really are so well-rounded. We provide those opportunities with the guest speakers, mock job interviews. They're better prepared for life. And really, we are for the kid who is maybe going straight into the workforce, maybe a kid who wants to go onto a technical college, or maybe they're going onto a 4-year college. We help them make those connections, and hopefully through some of our programs, not hopefully, but they're seeing that connection with their academics, how math is relating back to especially things like carpentry, culinary arts, all of those types of programs. We're helping them connect those dots and be better prepared for life. So,
Love it. All right,
I absolutely love it.
fair time. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
like,
it's fair
when I
time.
got to Middlebrook
We
High,
cannot
I
get away
had-
without
I
talking
had
about the
no
Clay County Fair.
idea.
Yes.
The Super Bowl. But it's huge for kids, and they enjoy it.
is.
I know how heavily involved you guys are, especially Kelly on that.
Lake County Fair is just as big down.
No, don't even try that,
it's
Mike.
big down here.
Okay.
I was trying to
Literally,
say,
Mike,
it's big.
There's
down here. It's big.
there's
down here.
nothing as big as the Clay County Fair. Okay.
But listen, the Clay County Fair blows my mind.
So-
it blew my mind. the
so
first time.
time out. Kelly needs to tell the other hat that she wears because I don't think Mike knows that. So go ahead, Kelly, for the fair.
So I'm the chairman of the fair board. So you're really stepping on. You were stepping on some toes. I mean, and we're
I got it. Shout out to Lake
Listen.
County. Shout out to Lake County schools. Right?
Yeah.
Tasha just jumped up clapping wherever she's at.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean we're a 4th generation fair family around here. So
I love it. Yes.
all
We have a fair in Lake County. Talk to me about the fair of Clay County.
Right. Yeah. So all joking aside, kind of going back to the beginning, you know, I wouldn't have ended up in ag education. I wouldn't have ended up in CTE if I wouldn't have had the experiences that I had at the Clay County Fair. As crazy as that sounds, showing animals, and like, I just think of, you know, all the students that have that opportunity to exhibit their animals, to exhibit their art projects, whatever it is. Like, this is their Super Bowl. This is their county championship. You know, this is their thing. And so the fair, actually, we have probably, you know, 1,000 exhibitors at our fair. We've expanded, the years that I've been on the fair board. We probably have, we had 145 livestock projects sold this year, and the total from the livestock auction was over $500,000. $500,000 that our business and community.
Yep.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Mike. Don't talk to us about anything.
Again,
Yeah.
Lake County. I'm calling us out again. We have a great fair in Lake County,
Mike.
But I'm hearing $500,000.
Yes.
Mike, do you have a Celebrity Swine Showmanship?
This is why Martin wanted this brought up.
Yeah. I left
I
it
just
at
want
the
to be
change at
clear.
school. but
Again,
yeah.
Sure.
Shout out to Lake County Fair. Shout out
Yeah.
to Lake County Fair.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, like
But shout out to Clay County Fairs. And again, I, as someone who's been a part of Clay County Fairs while serving at Middleburg, while serving at Oakleaf, you ladies do an outstanding job. And again, until you really dive into a fair experience, you truly don't understand. So I'll tell you, any principal that's listening to this, if you have not gone to your county's fair, and especially if you're in Clay County or Lake County, you need to go to those.
see
Listen,
the
Mike.
kids.
Mike.
You need to go to those.
Here's
fairs.
what you need to do. You need to go to your Lake County Fair and tell them you want to show a pig, because your good buddy Martin Aftuck is the Celebrity Swine Showmanship Showdown champion.
I did.
And
Inaugural.
Challenge
because
accepted.
right, inaugural. And so he asked him the question, what did he learn from participating in the Clay County Fair, and some of the things that his students do to get to that point?
So,
So you know what, Martin? I would like to ask you, as the swine fair
Celebrity Showmanship champion.
showman,
Inaugural.
Inaugural. What did you?
Well,
learn
number one,
as
I
a
learned
principal?
that people are pretty dang competitive when it comes to these things. Some principals I won't name, they may have spent a little more time than I did. The sheriff may have hit me with a whip in the ring. We're not going to talk about that. But
The superintendent kept it on the rails, though. He was great.
He did. So Kelly saw this somewhere, and it's a great idea. Got a bunch of people involved, and I think there were 20 people in it.
Yeah.
All kinds of local celebrities, and you had people from the news. You had the sheriff. You had Superintendent Broski, a few principals that have programs. But anyways, so I'm like, okay. I call my girls, the Roberts. Like, who's going to train me? Who's going to help me? And I literally went over to their house and they showed me. They walked me through how they do it. Talked about the ham sandwich and just really everything that goes into it. And so, man, it was pretty nerve wracking. It's a 300-pound pig, and I'm trying to walk it around walking around in a little showmanship arena. But it was the coolest thing about it, and I said it there, was you get to see how much time these kids put into these projects, these animals.
So much time.
And then what they get out of it, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, especially when the judge slapped the pig and I got it's like a great moment in my life.
I'll tell you, this just spurred another conversation.
Whole other
right?
story.
Can we just explore how much time does it really take, and what's that, an elevator conversation of what's that process of raising a pig, getting ready to show it at the fair?
Well, do we need to bring Maggie on? Can we pull her in? No.
Yeah. Well, she's actually headed out to the barn, to go do this very thing. But for the kids that are really in it, and you have kids that have different goals. Like, some kids' goal is just to sell it at the fair, and that's great. And then there's some kids' goals that they want to be grand champion, or they want to be top 5 in showmanship. Just like athletics, just like band, chorus.
Yep.
I want to get superior. I want whatever it is. And so that really it kind of varies. But the important thing about it, and it can be said for anything in CTE or a lot of athletics or anything else on campus, is
in life.
Will these kids go on to show pigs after they graduate high school? No, they're not going to. And even if the ones that maybe the few that might become a vet or do something in the animal science industry, they might carry on that experience, but what they will carry on is the responsibility, the hard work, the dedication, the grit. That's what they're going to keep with them when those belt buckles have faded, those ribbons they're lost, and all that kind of stuff. And so that is what we're really trying to teach the kids. Along, and the Clay County Fair is a great partner of that, along with ViStar, many of our other business partners that provide similar opportunities that the fair has provided, just in different avenues and different industries, and we're very, very fortunate in Clay County for that.
Can I just tell you a huge shout out to our local businesses? I heard ViStar as one of them. I know that they have a few banking academies in Clay County. I know that they are big supporters of the fair. Like, a huge shout out to our local vendors, because again, without them, those local businesses really help drive and provide special opportunities for our scholars in Clay County, Lake County, and all over the state of Florida. So this has been one of my favorite talks that we've had so far. So Alice, Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for just exposing us to the importance of CTE. So again,
and it doesn't happen in Clay County without these two, and then their crew that works with it.
No, not at all. And I can tell you, for the folks
in
in Lake County, again, shout out to everyone who's providing exceptional opportunities. Again, we're very blessed at Leesburg High School to have the largest construction academy in Central Florida. So our focus is really on Central Florida, but we're blessed with Culinary Academy, our Agri-Science Academy. So we've doubled down and we've invested in 2 agri-science teachers as well. So again,
be good to them.
Good.
Trust me, I will be. Trust me, the Crofts. Shout out.
We'll see you at State FFA then.
To our Croft family.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll see us at State FFA, which they constantly challenge me on, and National FFA in Indianapolis.
Yeah, you need to go, doesn't he, Martin?
To Florida? I haven't gone to the national one yet.
No. Have you gone to the national one in Indianapolis? So
no,
the
state
national one is in Indianapolis. It's in October, November.
The state one's just so cool because it's, again, like, you have no idea unless you go to it. It's like a rock concert. The kids it's their Super Bowl. It's
rock
awesome.
star.
Yeah. And then those kids getting to walk across stage.
And again, I have to give a huge shout out to Skills USA. So Skills USA is a fantastic partner for every CTE program in the state of Florida and across the country. Again, they provide amazing opportunities. So again, Alice and Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today on Talking Shop, a conversation with educational leaders. Again, discussing the importance of CTE programs in our education is so important, and it's just as valuable as Cambridge. Shout out to Cambridge, AP, dual enrollment, everyone, right? So again, thank you, ladies, for really talking about the importance. Again, today was Talking Shop, a conversation with educational leaders. My name is Mike Randolph. I'm the proud principal of the Leesburg High School, joined by my co-host, Martin Aftuck, the proud principal of Middleburg High School. And again, today we featured 2 amazing ladies leading CTE programs in Clay County, Miss Alice Paulk, Miss Kelly Mosley. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you for having us.
We're excited to add the CTE branding to the new championship A-School belt this year.
Again, about time.
Thank you, about time.
Right? About time, right? I saw
How many certifications was it going to take to get on the belt?
Well, over 600. Over 600.
How many certifications? So we have a number, 600
over
certifications.
600.
So again, today was Talking Shop.
Thank you, ladies.
My name is Mike Randolph. I'm joined by Martin Aftuck. Talking Shop, signing out. Have a great day and go Jackets.